What's good, guys? It's TSG. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you an update on the land sale that's currently going on, and we're just over 24 hours, about 25 hours in, and I want to give you an update on my situation and what's going on there. The first thing I want to mention before we start going into like everything that I've kind of done in this land sale, I need to give a massive shout out to the Illuvium team, everyone front end, back end, for creating such a smooth and pleasant user experience. There's been no gas fees. I mean, there's been a couple of lost gas fees, but it's understandable. It's not going to be perfect, but very, very efficient. The Dutch auction is doing what it's supposed to do. It started off really high. It slowly dipped down, and now it's kind of found it's leveled out at a pretty consistent floor price, which is really cool. So you can kind of see people trying to wait, test it out, and people get it just beforehand. But it's not sporadic and it's not crazy. And I think all the content creators through the streams have been keeping everyone up to date, so it's been pretty fair and balanced that way. And at the time of making this recording, we've actually still got 48 hours left of this land sale. So what I'm actually going to do tomorrow is during day 2 is that I'm actually going to be live streaming and just kind of chatting with a couple of the content creators, with community members, asking them about their land, just kind of having a chat and kind of having a good time. I just want to make it a party, to be honest. So if you do want to watch that, make sure you hit the like, subscribe button, notification if you want to get the notification. But I will be streaming for about 7 or 8 hours tomorrow, ideally. So I'd love to see you there. All right, let's not waste any time. And before I actually show you what I've done and where I'm at with this whole thing, I just want to go through a couple of details real quick. So I'm just going to switch over to the Medium article here, where it talks about the element sites and fuel sites. I know somewhere out there, probably Scarix has a detailed table of exactly what each of these elements and fuels do. I don't have access to that right now, so I'm going to kind of paraphrase. But so your three elements that you can get are carbon, silicon, and hydrogen, and they come in these site names: the outcrop, crystal deposit, and lake. So the element sites are of equal rarity, and elements are going to be necessary for creating and constructing structures in Illuvium 0, and also power activities such as extracting fuel. So without elements, your land is non-operational essentially, so you're going to need those and a balance of those. Each element has a different specific use case, and again, I don't have that there, but we kind of know what we do with them in general. And you can see here that every action in Illuvium has a cost. Illuvium 0 has a cost, typically paid in elements, and higher levels actions require fuel. So for the most part, elements are going to be absolutely crucial. So going on to fuel, again, you've got 3 different fuel types. You have Krypton, Hyperion, and Solon, and the site names Krypton Rift, Hyperion Reservoir, and Solon Trench. Pretty easy to remember as they have the names in each of them. Again, I don't have the actual specific details, but just assume that they're going to do different things. One of them is to do, I believe, I might be wrong, but I want to say Krypton is for traveling, Hyperion, Solon for crafting, and just different use cases. I apologize for not knowing that off the top of my head. But again, here you can see fuel is used for constructing advanced structures. So elements are the basic structures, and fuel is for maybe a bit more later game. So maybe a scanning facility, something like that. All right, and now that we've touched those details and we have a rough idea what elements and fuels do in Illuvium 0, I'm actually going to show you all the different plots of land that I purchased today. I'm actually very happy with them. I did pay a slight premium for them, but I'll explain my decision and why I did that. So what I've done today, and I'm actually very happy about this, is that I bought 4 plots of land. Actually, ideally, I wanted to get a tier 4, but the prices after waiting like 10 to 12 hours didn't even go close. And I just thought, look, I want to enjoy the whole process without having to refresh it every time and keep up to date. So I bit the bullet. I paid a bit of a premium for some tier 3s. I locked that in, and now I've used my capital, I've used my liquidity, and I'm able to sit back, jump from stream to stream, have a good time with everyone, and know that I'm happy with what I got. And especially the quality of these tiers are, I believe, of a really top tier. So it's made me not as self-hating about the prices that I paid. But looking at the first tier that I have, you can have a look here. I have a tier 3. So essentially I bought 2 tier 3s today and 2 tier 1s. All of them in Shard Bluff Labyrinth, because that's where I want to be. I want to set my base up there, and I probably won't be getting, if I do add to my collection, I'm not going to be adding it in another region. I'm going to stick to that region there. So tier 3s actually come with an elemental landmark. And what does that mean? That means that the element that's corresponding to the landmark actually receives a boost in production and reduces the losses when converting to that element. So as you can see here, my first T3 has an eternal spring, and that increases hydrogen, which is a lake. So the really, really cool thing about my plot of land here is that you can see out of there's nine elemental sites that I could have. Out of the 9, 5 of them are lakes. So more than half of my elements are going to get that boost from the eternal spring, which is insane. And also the fact that I have 1 outcrop and 3 crystal deposits means that I'm actually still going to get at least 1 of each. And that's really, really cool. So I'm not going to be stranded thinking, oh, I need to buy it over here or trade it over here and maybe pay a premium for that. I'm going to have access to all of them on this plot of land, plus the bonus from all the lakes. The fuel site, again, 2 of each. You couldn't ask for anything more than that. It's balanced. I've got 2 Krypton, 2 Hyperion, and 2 Solons. Like, I don't need to say too much about that. That's honestly just an ideal setup. 5 elements that link up with the landmark, and everything else fairly balanced, which I honestly can't complain about at all. So I'm very, very happy with this plot of land. My second plot of land, again, is a T3. Like I mentioned, 2 T3s, 2 tier 1s. As you can see, the landmark here is the halogenic geode, and this increases silicon production. Silicon production actually is the crystal deposits, as we mentioned before. So you can have a look here. In this situation, I have 4 lakes, 4 crystal deposits. So again, just slightly less than half my elemental sites are going to be affected by the landmark. It's not as ideal, but very, very far from bad. So it's still a very decent plot of land, and it still makes use of that. Krypton Rift and Solon Trench. And now here I have 3 and 3 instead of 2 and 2. If this was the only land that I got, I think I wouldn't be as happy about it because I'd want to get all 3. But the fact that I have 1 land already with those things evened out, with the fuel evened out, having this here with just those 2, especially Krypton, which, again, I forget what the discussion was, but it seems like the consensus is Krypton is probably going to be the most valuable fuel. The fact that I have 3 of those here and 2 of those in the other, I am very happy with. So just out of 2 lands already, I have 5 chances, or 5 times production of Krypton, which is, for me, I think I'm very happy with that. The third bit of land that I have is a tier 1. So honestly, I didn't know if I should go for tier 2s or tier 1s. I thought, man, look, let me just have a bit of fun and pull the trigger on some tier 1s. So that's what I did. I got 2 tier 1s. This one here is, tier 1s don't have landmarks, so there's nothing to give it a benefit. It's just kind of luck of the draw. 2 lakes, 2 outcrops. There's no crystal deposits, so it's a bit of a shame there. And Krypton Rift. So tier 1s only have 1 fuel site, and again, the fact that Krypton Rift is the one that I got, and it seems to be by consensus the most valuable fuel site, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm not going to complain about it, and actually I'm not going to put the plot numbers anywhere or anything like that. But the 2 tier 1s I have actually are really, really well located. So there's a tier 4 right in the middle, and both of my tier 1s are actually either side. So I've got 1 here and 1 here. Just pretty much like either side of a tier 4. So if they want to expand, they're going to need to go through me. And I might be not willing to sell, to be honest, unless they make it really worth my while, where I could maybe get another tier 3 or even possibly a tier 4. But let's see what I do there. But again, for a tier 1, not as good as the tier 3s, obviously. But again, based on what we're getting, I'm very, very happy with that. And my final one. Honestly, this one is kind of trash. So again, no landmark. Again, when I talked about the spreading out all the resources you can get, there's none of that. The element sites, I have all 3 in crystal deposit, which actually, comparing it to the last one, I don't have any crystal deposit there, so it kind of balances out. But it would be nice to have somewhat of a balance on each land. And the fuel side is Hyperion. So again, there's not much we can say about that. Ideally, it would have been Krypton, but I believe I'm already getting a fair bit of Krypton throughout my 4 different lands. So again, I'm not going to complain too much. But yeah, so there you have it. Those are my 4 tiers. I have my tier 1, which I don't think is too great. My other tier 1, which I'm very, very happy with. The tier 3, which is good, not ideal. And my best one, which is this tier 3, which I think is incredible. Of course, it could be better. I've seen Kieran pump. I might put this tweet in the video here. but Kieran talking about his rising star or falling star, and 6 of that element, which is absolutely insane. 6 Solon trenches, I believe it was, and that's just absolutely insane. So the fact that I have 5 lakes linking up with the landmark, I'm not going to complain. That's a very, very, very good pick. Yeah, anyway, so that's essentially what I've got. I've picked up these 4. I'm probably not going to purchase any more during the land sale. That also could very much be a lie, and I might just FOMO in. I do have some liquidity. I'm trying not to use it, but man, I don't know, maybe for content, we'll see what happens. I'd love to know what you guys have going on in your experience so far. Put it down in the comments. Have you bought anything? Are prices too high? Are you waiting for an ideal price? Tell me everything about that down below. And even share some of your, I'd love to know, just put down your plot numbers and I can check them out. I'd love to see what you guys have got. And also, like I mentioned before, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow for about 6 to 7, maybe 8 hours, just depending on how I feel. But I will definitely be streaming. So if you don't want to miss that, like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and I will catch you guys there. Peace out.